Wants to take a vaccine, I'm not going to get in their way. If you want a vaccine, or if you want to vaccinate your children, those vaccines will be available. But I am going to tell the truth to Americans.
And in a positive sign of unity, Colorado Governor Jared Polis praised the nomination of Robert F. Kennedy, saying on X, quote, "I'm excited by the news that the president-elect will appoint Robert Kennedy Jr. to the Health and Human Services. He helped us defeat vaccine mandates in Colorado in 2019 and will help make America healthy again by shaking up the HHS and the FDA." And after receiving a bit of pushback over that endorsement, Polis has been following up by saying that science must remain the cornerstone of health policy, but still stands by what he said about Kennedy's appointment. John?
All right, Sarah, we're watching really closely. We'll see how RFK Jr. hits the ground running if he gets confirmed by the Senate. Thank you. All right, let's welcome also back in Rob Bluey, who's standing by with us to talk more about the RFK Jr. nomination. And Rob, RFK Jr. says he plans to fire 600 workers, federal health care workers. We've also seen some of the people who pushed hardest for vaccine and mask mandates freaking out about RFK Jr.'s appointment. What's your take on it?
Well, John, first of all, 600 might not be enough. I mean, the federal workforce is massive, millions of employees. And let's face it, HHS, where he will be leading, is one of the biggest agencies with some of the greatest responsibilities. I mean, it spans a whole number of things that affect us on our daily lives. So I am grateful that somebody like RFK Jr. is stepping into this position. And when he said in that video that he's going to tell the American people the truth, I think he means it and he's sincere about that. And it's not just when it comes to vaccines. It's when it comes to the FDA and big pharma and the role that they play in our lives. It's when it comes to big food and all of the agriculture and the processed foods that are in our diet. So there's a whole range of things that I think RFK will intend to do in his time here. And I just hope that he doesn't face the resistance that comes with the special interests and lobbyists in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to our food, it's going to be critically important. Whoever is in charge of the Food and Drug Administration, obviously they have to be in line with what RFK Jr. wants to do. And also, I think, one of his first challenges is going to be these flights that we've seen. Got to shut those down because it's HHS that has been paying to fly illegal migrants, including kids, all over this country. So that will be on his plate as well. All right, here is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She was on Joy Reid. It was fun, as you can imagine. And yesterday, she talked about what happens if RFK Jr. is confirmed. Take a listen.
If you live in a rural area and there's not a hospital very close to you, but there is a community center closer to you, it could be decimated under Robert F. Kennedy. And we're talking about people who live in rural communities. We're talking about people who live in underserved communities that have been neglected. In order to, whether it's to get a shot or just to get checked up on, we're talking about the potential decimation of community health centers.
Rob, anyone who has worked in a rural health center or a rural hospital knows that the number one strain on those institutions is illegal immigration. The people come here, they're required by law to give them care, there's no way they can pay for it, and it competes with people who live in those areas. And, RFK Jr., again, this is going to be on his plate, he's going to deal with it, but AOC doesn't want to talk about that aspect.
No, John, she doesn't. And you're absolutely right. I mean, this is a little-known responsibility of HHS that the American people, I don't think, fully understand that, yes, it does have a big role when it comes to this particular aspect. Here's the thing, though. I mean, AOC and all these other Democrats can come out with all their scaremongering, and the media can run these headlines that warn about RFK Jr., but it's so hypocritical. I mean, it was just a few years ago that they celebrated RFK Jr., and particularly his environmental activism and his positions on so many issues where he may have been in alignment with them. I think what's happened, though, is he saw firsthand that the Democrats wanted nothing to do with him as soon as he started to challenge the establishment. And so, yes, he became an independent, and now he's aligned himself with Donald Trump. And my hope is that he can pursue policies that lead the American people to have longer lives, better health outcomes, and all of those great things to lead the good life in this country.
Yeah, here's some more freak out here. Just play this real quick. This is a clip from CNN. They're freaking out about RFK Jr.
Will they resist RFK on vaccines? I don't know. And but I certainly think Gates probably has the toughest hill to climb.
Well, America, I hope you like measles. Thanks to all of you.
Somebody said to me today, I can't think of any single individual who'd be more damaging to public health than RFK.
So, and I also saw a clip of Caitlin Clark. She was like, RFK Jr., he's not a doctor. He has no background in anything medical. And I just thought to myself, Caitlin, did you Google Javier Becerra, the current Health and Human Services Secretary, who got to this position? He served, I think, like 6 terms in Congress. Before that, he was the Attorney General of California. Not a doctor either. And she wasn't complaining about him when he was nominated for the post. So I'll just leave it there, Rob. Last word to you.
Yes, well, you're hearing the same thing about Pete Hegseth. He's not a general, so how can he do that? No, he's a decorated veteran, and obviously he has 2 degrees from Ivy League schools. But, I don't think necessarily at the end of the day that we need these elitist professionals in these roles. I think that we need Americans who are committed to the truth and getting to the bottom of how to improve how Washington works.
Exactly. Rob Bluey, always great to see you. Say hello to our friends at the Daily Signal. We'll see you soon. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, John.